You mentioned omni-channel.
Hmm.
We're kind of Amazon-centric in the Amazon Strategy Show. Most of our listeners are like,
For sure.
which channels and what benefit do they have from this? Because we understand the Amazon benefit, but what
For
about other
sure.
channels?
Yeah, so we're full omnichannel. We've been full omnichannel from the beginning, which I kind of toyed around with the idea of being Amazon centric, um, but I really believe in omni, and
Hmm.
because if nature, like if history repeats itself, there's not going to be one dominant player forever.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like unless like what we know of like the whole system collapses. You know what I mean? Like America just doesn't allow monopolies and that type of behavior. So Amazon is still dominant, but there's going to have to be kind of a disruption in some way to bring in competitors, which is good for the overall population. So I think Walmart is everybody kind of bashes on Walmart for being slow and
Hmm.
super slow to the party, which is fair. But I mean, they have like 62,000 super centers around the states.
Wow.
And like if they just start replacing the ones that just, you know, don't have a lot of traffic or just
Hmm.
find an algorithm to figure out which ones have the highest potential to just turn into fulfillment centers. Like if you talk about getting products in under an hour, Amazon can't do that. Like
Hmm.
unless the drone delivery really becomes a thing, which I mean I think that's still pretty far off because people
Yeah.
don't want this thing hovering over them. Walmart's in a position to do 1 hour delivery because everybody's a stone's throw away from a Walmart. So I think that's super important to get on there. Walmart has like 10% of the reviews that Amazon has for major competitive categories and products. If it makes sense, there's certain products that don't do well
Yeah.
on Walmart. Target is also becoming more popular, but that's invite only. So there's only I think like 10 or 20,000 sellers on Walmart or something ridiculous.
Hmm.
Um, and then we see, of course, TikTok Shop has emerged a lot over the last year or two. So we're seeing a lot of TikTok Shop launches. And then last thing I'll say is, all these marketplaces, in terms of how they rank up your product, their algorithm, it's all the same. I mean, there's
Hmm.
some nuances, like Walmart, for example. It depends how you're stocked at the local super centers.
Hmm.
That actually determines ranking more than Amazon.
Hmm.
And same with Target because they know they can get it to you faster if it's stocked at the Walmart across the street or whatever.
Hmm.
But aside from that, it's all very, very similar. So the software works, and we drive traffic everywhere. I think we've driven to over 28 or 30 marketplaces now.
Wow.
And
They just put the link in basically wherever
yeah,
they want to go.
yeah. So we automatically import for Amazon, Walmart, Target, and Etsy. So you can automatically pull product details without SP API. Our technology bypasses API; it doesn't require that.
Nice.
Um, and and get it in automatically. But if you do other and what's called the other launch, you could do any marketplace. You could do
Hmm.
Shopify, you could do Etsy, Chewy, anything, and then send traffic that way. And the other benefit too of these other marketplaces, we do what are called review requests, which are not incentivized, they're not even required. It's simply us asking on the brand's behalf, hey, if you had a good experience, whatever, leave a review. And we do that we don't do it for Amazon. Amazon is way too strict with reviews, so
Hmm.
it's just not even worth it. But these other marketplaces, I mean, they're just trying to fight for market share. Like
Yeah.
you know. So social proof isn't as big of a barrier, and so we do that for these other markets. So if you want to get on Walmart, Target, TikTok, like any other marketplace, it's a really great platform. It still works exceptionally well for Amazon, and that's where mainly our users use it for. But the other marketplaces is massively beneficial because we can still, do review requests for these platforms, and now we're helping with social proof conversions and sales velocity, which is like
Hmm.
those are like the three main ingredients to
Yeah. Yeah.
explosive.
I agree.
So
Cool. So, well, I guess when does a brand know that they're ready to use your service, your platform?
yeah, good question. So yeah, a lot of like we'll have new products that don't really have any reviews or anything, and honestly, it's just you need to have at least five, if not 10 plus reviews. You because if you drive a lot of traffic, you get a lot of exposure. You got a lot of organic customers coming to your listing. If you don't have social proof, it's not going to convert, so it's not going to stick. What we call stick. Um, so And also new products, Honeymoon. We just did a comprehensive case study. We've done over 10,000 campaigns. We took 8,000 of the latest campaigns that we've done, and I think it was like almost a million orders. And we combed through all of the data. And in the past, this was our second comprehensive case study. The first one we found that Honeymoon products do in fact rank far better than, older products. But this last one we did, interestingly enough, it was pretty much even. Like Honeymoon was the best, but mature products that were a year plus old actually did really well too. So it kind of threw us off because there's this,
Mm.
there's this, idea that Honeymoon is like the best time.
Yeah.
So I say that because, ideally, if it's a new product, you have some social proof,
Mm.
you have A plus content, you have a good listing set up, you're basically ready to scale. You have inventory stocked. Don't skimp on the inventory, and then you just use our software to just blast it off.
Love it.
And then if you have a product that's seasonal, maybe your busy buying season's coming up. You have a product that's acquiring long-term storage fees. You need to get it out of there. You have a product that ran out of inventory and you have to restock. And everybody knows when you run out of inventory, it's really hard to get back to your position you were at. So there's a lot of different use cases that works. Yeah.
Love it. And you said, ready to go, and you're ready to go. How do you charge for? Yeah, how's the platform work in terms of fees, pricing, budget, and I guess credit? Is it credit based?
It used to be credit based. We learned a lot of lessons with the credit based. Credit based was really bridging the gap between our agency model and the SaaS. We moved away from that, and now we do strictly performance based. So rather than buying, let's say, 100 credits up front and then using those credits, within 30 days, now you just pay when you get a sale. So it's the same pricing relative. So
Okay.
so with the freemium, so you can sign up for free. It's either $6.95 per sale or 25% rev share. So whatever the product price is, 25%. On premium, it's $5.95 or 20%. And then enterprise, which are our biggest agencies, aggregators, accelerators, our biggest clients, we go all the way down to 10% rev share. So it's really, economies of scale really plays out. So the more volume they move, the better pricing
Yeah.
they get. But we also, on premium and enterprise, they have a higher level of support. We really bring them into the organization onto Slack. We serve it as an extension to their agency. So a lot of these really large agencies, aggregators, accelerators will come on. We'll bring them on a private Slack channel, introduce them to our whole success team, and really they white label our software as an extension of their agency, because a lot of these full service agencies just don't have this type of technology. So
Yeah.
it's just another way that they can drive sales to these brands.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And so they pay per sale. What about the refund or the credit the customer gets? Where's that come from?
Yeah, so that comes from us. So the seller's paying us to get them a sale, get them this feedback, get them
Yeah.
the whole package, right? And then we ship that to the buyer. So that's kind of the transaction. That's how
Yeah.
the transaction goes. Yeah, yeah. And then we have all the controls in place to make sure that the buyer is acting in good nature, they're leaving good feedback, providing value to sellers, not returning products, not trying to resell, all that kind of stuff. We just handle all of that. And even if there's an issue with the product, we're like, come to us, talk to us first. And then if we need to talk to the seller, we'll do that. But we want to make it as seamless as possible for these brands to get new customers without having any issues.
Yeah. Cool. Is there anything else
Yeah.
I should be asking about Brand Expand? Anything I haven't asked?
No, I mean, what we'll do though is we can do $100 to wallets if anyone signs up, even if they go on free. We'll do BX Candy 100 for you guys. You can put it in the show notes.
Cool.
And then yeah,
BX.
BX Candy 100. I just made that up, but I think that'll be fine. We'll create a promo code. So if you sign up for freemium or any plan, when you sign up, it'll ask you for a promo code. If you put that in, it'll drop $100 in your wallet, and then you can essentially test the software for free. and just see how it works. And then, yeah, we'd love to get you on a call. You can go to the website, click on in the upper right, there's request a demo. We have a whole team that will show you how it works and go from there.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
So
thanks, John.
we will have one final section of the podcast to ask you
Okay,
your
cool.
controversial take. So, do
Okay.
you have any controversial, debatable opinions relating to Amazon or the e-commerce industry in general?
I know this is what Amazon sellers don't want to hear, but I think there's going to be a pretty large exodus away from Amazon in the coming years. And we're kind of already seeing that. The reason why I exited what I did and kind of went into more of software based is like Amazon's squeezing margins. And if you look at their whole business model, which is providing the most value to customers, right? They're extremely customer centric. They're going to try to get the lowest price. Third party sellers, unfortunately, kind of throw a wrench in that whole model of offering the lowest possible price. So you see Amazon buying up these manufacturing facilities and literally being that entire supply chain. And when you own the supply chain, and like we own our vertically integrated SaaS, you can lower pricing considerably. And unfortunately, it's just going to be a situation where sellers just don't have margin, and a lot of them don't already. I did this study where I think I asked over 100 sellers what their profit margins were over the years, and it was a clear, no matter how big they were, 7, 8, even 9 figures or higher, it didn't matter. Their margins were diminishing over the years, and it's a very smart way for Amazon to kind of edge into that monopolistic, anti-competitive arena without it seeming monopolistic, right? Because it's like, well, we're increasing fees because we have to, or we're increasing fees to improve the customer experience, or we're putting these policies in place to improve the customer experience. All the while, sellers are getting squeezed more and more and more. So it's just very convenient, I think. So that would be my controversial take is I think there's going to be a pretty mass exodus. These sellers are going to go to TikTok. They're going to go to Walmart. They're going to go to whatever platform makes sense. If you're selling animal products, you'll go to Chewy. And we're going to see a lot more diversification in terms of marketplaces and them selling very like narrow niche products. Like you'll see Etsy selling the craft homemade products. You'll see Walmart, maybe sports and outdoors and food and beverage. Amazon's going to sell a bunch. They're still going to be dominant for a long time. Chewy's going to sell pet products. You're going to see these really narrow, these marketplaces selling very specific products, and sellers are going to migrate to those. And even though they might have the same sales, they're going to have higher margins, and it's going to offset. So that would be my controversial take. We'll
Yeah.
see. Who knows what's going to happen?
Well, so,
AI
yeah, I
might
mean,
just
like,
go over
when we
and
started selling, they thought everyone would be buying through Alexa and audio devices by the early 2020s. There's something someone said at a conference I was at. That
yeah,
didn't happen. We
yeah,
don't
no.
say, order me some random thing.
Well, now they're trying to get at you on Prime, right? You're watching a movie on Prime, and they have a commercial on the product, and then they show it,
I haven't seen
and
that.
they're like,
Yeah, I don't have
yeah,
Prime
they're like
Video where I live. I've got only got
they're like
Netflix.
click here, and you can buy it through Prime.
That's
Like,
cool.
dude, yeah, it's
I can
pretty
imagine
smart.
that'd be super cool if you could just buy everything, like everything in the set. Like when I'm watching this podcast with you, and I'm like,
Hmm.
I'd like that water cooler and that cool little astronaut on the planet
Yeah,
over there. And it's like I can
yeah,
buy it and have it delivered to my house.
yeah, dude. Right? It's crazy, but that's what they're doing. They're like they'll do Amazon commercials, and then they'll have a link to buy right from Prime. I haven't tried it because I'm like, I'm not going to be that type of
That
consumer,
far
but
down consumerism yet.
yeah,
Yeah, there
not
when
to be that
your
impulsive,
future
but
kids
it's
bought
fun.
it though. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Love it. So
But yeah.
thank you so much. So what action should people take? You've already said they can go there, they can sign up with the code BXCandy100, they can go and book in a demo. Anything else if they want to reach out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just throw my email, Seth@brandexpand.io, if you want to reach out to me directly. I don't mind. Otherwise, success@brandexpand.io is our success team. And yeah, otherwise, book a demo, get in contact with our team, and we'd love to show you how the platform works, dive into it a little bit more, kind of pull the curtains back, and show you behind the scenes. So
Amazing. Cool. Seth, thank you so much for taking the time and being on the podcast. And I'll talk to you very soon. Everyone that is listening or watching, thank you so much. Please do rate us, give us feedback. It all helps us go up the rankings because we don't have a brand expand to boost our podcast. Maybe it would work. I'm not sure. But see you all next week, and thank you for being here.